walked as far as the Blue Spring. There were picnics going on. There was such a happy atmosphere. So, do we actually see that as a problem? But I do agree we need to protect the beauty in the water. And I absolutely agree with your point of view. There is a lot of life in that river that most of the time we don't see. Someone yesterday pointed out a large crab hiding under the vegetation on the side. I would never have seen it, but this person was expert in spotting. So,
and if you walk up the Tiwaiau, even going south, you're quite well. Are there any other questions, Mrs. Bruce? I thank you for your dedication and that we are recognising it, and so that we are progressing, and you can see the good work that we're working in partnership with Rokaro. Now you have...
I have another one, but before that I have a little presentation to make. Craig, this is to remind you that you've got a hard few months ahead. Please stop swimming. Neil? One for you as well, so you don't feel left out.
Right, good.
But one of the things that I would like to see, and I assume you've already had, is those big information panels that Doc use. Like in the information centre in Rotorua, they've already advertised in Mokahaha on big huge panels, and those big aluminium panels are about 5,000 to 6,000. Because if we tell the whole story, we only change part of the month.
I was just going to make a point, I think, and we'll obviously talk about this in the deliberations, but at the end of the day, I fully accept and agree with everything Mrs. Bruce has said, that the other opportunity we've got to consider is the big picture around, we've wanted to promote our district, we wanted to encourage jobs, but we've actually, I guess, almost been bitten by our own success around the number of people that have come to the Blue Spring and the Waihau, which is what we wanted. What we need to do is work out how we get those people back into the tower room and start leveraging the other opportunities they present, as well as introducing our district.
I mean, and we've seen that, the government starting to respond to tourism. And I have a fear that if Auckland has discovered the Barnett's Reserve,
they have.
We couldn't handle 20 cars out there. So 20 cars suddenly hitting the Barnett's Reserve would start giving us a problem in terms of it, because there's no parking. For the half of it, as you're going to talk about, if that gets discovered and we had 50 people turn up in the morning, what would that do? How do you start controlling some of our natural resources as people start to discover? And I think we have to anticipate that this is actually going to take place. That we have 50 fishing holes in our district, 4 golf courses and that. So would you like to now move on to your
I'll just state one more thing, Neil. Just a reminder that there's going to be over 1 million Chinese coming to New Zealand on tourists.
Not all the same day.
Well, not all on the same day, and they quite like to go to free things. So just remember that.
Through your wish, I don't know if everyone's aware, but Tourism New Zealand are now no longer advertising or promoting New Zealand in the summer months.
Yeah,
they're only promoting 70 hours a week winter destination, because our infrastructure just can't support tourists.
I assure you that the problems we're having aren't anything to the problems that the Mayor of Mackenzie tells me about.
Okay, the Kokako Recovery Group.
Submission number 73.
I'll say good morning to you all again. Seeing I'm wearing a different hat now. We would like to thank you for the funding for our project over multiple years. To have such funding in place makes it easier to make plans for the future in developing this area for public access and protection for the Kokako in the future. We have recently been out into the reserve and the bird life is fantastic. I've never seen so many North Island robins. And there's fantails and grey warblers and all sorts of things. Beautiful giant mosses, fungi, and it's lovely open bush, just what Kokako like. I'm not sure if I heard of Kokako that day because we had a very keen member who's at the back there and he's playing a recording quite often, so I'm not sure if it was just Alan's recording or actually heard one, but I have heard them before. We are looking forward to hearing how successful this year's breeding program has been, especially after the 1080 drop. Work has been carried out at this time to clear and establish the bait lines. When Catherine returns from the States, she will be organising some working bees, and we will continue the work to get the bait line network maintenance all sorted out, because for the next 2 years it will all be just bait stations. And we are looking for volunteers, so if anyone wants to change their day in the office to a day out in the countryside with a pair of crooners and a little saw, you're more than welcome. One of the things that's probably on the first to be done too is the entranceway. It's quite steep. Herman's put in some poles and you can actually grab them going down, but it's very slippery. So hopefully we'll be able to get that sorted out. But we thank you again for your valuable support for our project. And yeah, we're looking forward to being able to open it up one day to visitors. Any questions?
Councillor Van Rooyen?
I may not have listened carefully enough, but you haven't mentioned the number of kokako.
Oh, I didn't mention it because I thought a lot of you knew what they were. The numbers are about 108 birds all told, 35 pairs, we think.
And the other question is, when we visited there recently, we went to the Tiki Reserve, which I was surprised at how close it is to Mokaihaha. We use, and Hancock Forest are being very cooperative in giving us legal access to those places. Do you have an opinion as to how we could develop that further, bringing people in to come and have a look? And I'm particularly thinking of the possibilities around Tiki Reserve.
Well, Tiki would still be a good camping site, wouldn't it? But we have spoken with Papa Tiara Whamarai when we had the workshops over there earlier on, and they're quite keen to carry out eco-tours, I suppose is the best way. So we could look at developing that, but also we looked at the redwoods again, and that's quite a magnificent stand of redwoods, and they're on there, so it's an exciting time. There could be lots of areas developed. I mean, so Tiki-Tik's still got toilets, even though I didn't go in, but they're still there. It's a few years since we've been there, and it's looking a bit wild, but...
That's the old scout camp.
Yeah. And we have a few supporters, if you don't know who they are. They're WeSet, Environment Initiative Fund from Regional Council, Hancock's and Taumata's, Forest and Bird, Hamilton and Waikato. We've had a private donation from the Isla Lawton Estate, Rokawa, DOC, South Waikato District Council, and OJ Fibre Solutions. And Southern Pastures, one of the directors died and has left some money, which eventually will be probably used to establish the car park. That's to be, sorted here.
It's something we didn't really know as a council, or 5 years ago. It's been quite amazing, particularly in terms of it being that particular gene pool, which is quite pure.
It's really unique.
Yeah, quite unique. There are no more questions to us? Yes?
I was just going to ask, if you're looking for volunteers, are you in touch with Volunteer Waikato? Because they've got lots of volunteers that want to do work in this area, but nobody put them.
I'll make a note of that. Catherine's from Hamilton, so we're actually at the stage where we're going to form a trust. Both Alan and I have sort of got our names in the hat there.
So I thank you for your ongoing work, and one day we'll have a council trip up there if you can all get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Maybe we'll wait until the summer months.
Then it's
Well,
5 o'clock.
Pardon?
Then it's 5 o'clock.
Oh, well, that's all right. It'll be warmer. I thank you.
Thank you.
We heard from Catherine. We are. The next one was